Ken Dallafior played for the Lions, the Steelers, the Chargers, the Michigan Panthers, and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. He's from the Detroit area originally, and now he's a senior vice president, group sales and corporate marketing, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Michael Patrick, and fired up hearing that fight song this morning.
Yeah, you got to hear that a lot when you played for the Lions because the team was actually winning back then, huh?
We were winning, and we actually scored points on offense, similar to what they're doing this year in the 0-4 season so far.
Well, the Rams now are not a very good team, and the Lions are playing at home. They have the Giants on the road next week. That's not going to be easy. So this is our next best chance. When you think about it, after the Giants, they're on the bye week. So if they're going to win a game sometime before, Election Day, this is a good chance to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. When you look at the schedule, you would say this should be one of those games they should win. The Rams start 0-2. They win the last two games. All of a sudden, they look like world beaters. And Bradford, their new quarterback, coming into his own. The defense is playing strong, and they have a great running back. So I'm not sure. Although the Lions are favored by 3.
All right, so that's something else. That is actually an advancement when we're favored by 3, huh?
Yeah, that's the first time this season, and so more than your comments and mine, other people think that this is one the Lions can win, and so it'll be an interesting game. And the offense has been playing well, other than not scoring points and touchdowns in the red zone, and 6th in the league in offense. That's a huge improvement over last year.
Speaking of improvement, we understand this week that Matthew Stafford's making improvement in his recovery from his shoulder injury, that he's actually able to throw this week, and maybe it won't be long before he gets back. I don't know. I know he's not playing Sunday, or so they say. I wonder if he'll be ready next week, or at this stage, do you just let Sean Hill go through the Giants game, use the off week to get Matthew Stafford back and sharp, and then bring him back after the bye?
That would seem the most prudent sort of path, just to let him finish healing if there's any question at all. And my guess is because of the timing of the bye week that they'll probably look at that. That's only a guess, and it's hard for an athlete, Matthew or any other athlete, to say, I'll just sit back and finish healing. The season's short, opportunities are being missed. But I think that's probably the prudent path, and guessing that's what they'll do if there's any question at all.
All right, well, we'll see what happens, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. It'd be nice to get a win going into New York. Nice to get a win at all, really. And I remind people that when Ken Dallafior played for the Lions and he blocked for Barry Sanders, they went to the championship game. The championship game. Almost went to the darn Super Bowl and actually had the lead, in fact. So he knows what he's talking about. Now, when you played for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, understand that Wisconsin was one of your big rivalry games other than Michigan. Is that true?
Yes, it was, and we always finished with the Badgers, and Iowa was another big game for the University of Minnesota, just because of the where the state and so on, and but Iowa and Wisconsin were big games for the university.
When you played for Minnesota, because you came from Michigan, did you still keep an eye on what went on in the Michigan State game? Was that still a curiosity to you, or were you too occupied with what you were doing over there?
No, absolutely. That's always a big game. When you're a Big Ten institution or player, you kind of look at all the Big Ten, and you always watch the Michigan State game, the rivalry. Whether one team's good, one team's bad, or both good, it's always a great game. And I think tomorrow is going to be a fabulous game. And you try to pick who's going to win that game, and if Michigan State's going to be able to contain Robinson and all the questions that everybody's had all week in anticipation of it.
Speaking of Denard Robinson, you can get 3-1 odds on him right now to win the Heisman Trophy. It's a pretty good bet, I think.
If he stays healthy and he continues to do what he's doing, it'll be like one of the greatest seasons in the history of college football. So how could you bet against that?
All right, speaking of betting, what is your record on picking Lions games so far this year?
My record absolutely matches theirs because I've been betting the Lions all year and taking them. That's betting with my heart, not my wallet,
right?
Obviously. But I'm going to take the Lions to win tomorrow. Tomorrow's Alumni Day, so it's at home. It's against the Rams, and I think the Lions are due to break out of their spell.
Are you going to be down on the field then before the game?
Yes, they'll introduce the alumni at halftime, and so that's always nice to see a lot of the folks you got to play with and people who have been part of the organization for years past.
All right, that'll be pretty cool. Be down there on the field. You'll be tempted to put a helmet on and go out and play.
Not a chance.
Who do you like in the Michigan State game? Then we might as well get your prediction there.
Well, I have to go with the home team and the offense that they produce. I don't know that they can be stopped. So, but I will say I'll take Michigan, but I think it's a track meet. It's just going to be whoever has the ball last, and kind of one of those deals.
Yeah, I think the over is 63 points on this game, something like that.
Oh my!
Yeah, and that's
everybody's expecting a real offensive show.
That's unlike Big Ten football, but Big Ten football is changing, that's for sure. And speaking of that, Nebraska won yesterday. The last time they're going to play Kansas State because they're coming over to the Big Ten, they routed Kansas State for the most part. So beware, Big Ten. The dynamic is changing, and we'll talk again soon, Ken Dallafior. Great to hear from you.
Thanks, Michael Patrick. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Thanks a million. That's Ken Dallafior, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Not bad. He blocked for Barry Sanders, Terry Bradshaw, and Dan Fouts.